Ahem. All right, there. I think I did it, and it's still 7:30 on the clock, so I'm not technically late. Here we go. All right. Welcome to our living room. Rainy Amish Comic trying to make Tuesday suck less. The lovely Mrs. Comic over there. When she's not on camera, of course you know that by now. That means I'm treating you like a dumbass. You can see in here that Mrs. Comic is not clearly around me, but I felt compelled to tell you that she's not on camera in case you think she should be here and you can't see her. That you know uh, the reason that I'm that nuts, I'll get to later on. I mean, I'm usually nuts anyway, but I'm nuts for different reasons now. So, almost late on tonight's uh, Making Tuesday Suck Less because I was tempted to have a go at road rage because I'm not really a road rage person, but just riding around the town here playing Pokemon Go, we beat up a Luca Brasi, or it's not that, it's called something else, but then I had to get home in time for, now suit up and stuff. And there's a thing where I was going to road rage. It's people that are polite drivers that let people go many times fucks up the flow of traffic. Sometimes that being polite fucks things up because you're supposed to take your turn. If you don't take your turn, it fucks up the flow in the Dynaflow. So I was contemplating actually road raging someone who was polite and said everybody could go, but I wasn't quite sure how that would work, and I'm glad I didn't go that way because that's not really how I roll. So I hope everybody's doing good. We had some life is up and down, man. You have a fun thing happens, and then something bad and crazy happens over there, and there's a balance. It's even stuff. Hey, those balloons went flying up. How did anybody see those balloons flying? Yeah. How the fuck did that happen? I was a light theme of tonight was going to be like ghosts, so that was maybe that's Happy Cinco de Mayo. I don't know, but I want you to take a look at this picture right here. And I'll tell you, that is Caesar laying on the floor, having some fun. Where if you can see where Caesar's head is, and slightly above, that is a tail of a cat. Then we only have one cat running around this house that we know. Mary, we believe, is running all around this house. Sparky running all around this house, our cockatiel from the other side. That is a cat tail, and Mrs. Comic and I clearly heard a strange meow in the house. We both heard it. Bearcat does not meow, so we knew it wasn't Bearcat. So this ghost tail, and also Caesar was running around out there for no apparent reason. And so what happened is that, let me go get this thing. I fired it over there. Mrs. Comic, who I love like nobody's business, she went and ruined my ghost cat. She went and ruined my ghost Richter. She went and ruined this woman I love. Went and ruined my ghost cat theory by figuring out that I took the picture from this room, and this mouse thing that hangs in this doorway here is what was in the camera. It clearly looked, but the thing is, here's what's embarrassing. All right, where is it? Before she shared her ghost cat theory with me, I crawled all under this table for like 9 minutes looking for that ghost tail that wasn't there, when in fact it was this thing. And I don't know if you recall, a few months back, because it's on a like a little bungee cord, it got stuck on the outside of the door, and so when we came home at night, this fucking thing was hanging in the door and scared the flying fuck out of me. Look, there's a fucking dead rat laying in the fucking door. So this thing has been causing me all kinds of scares. And so Caesar likes to have fun with this now. So we're talking about Caesar a lot this week. Boy, this guy's something else. He's a handful. Bearcat does nothing. Bearcat it's a feral cat from outside that just comes to eat. It doesn't want any touching or company. It actually won't even eat until I go back in the house and close the actual door. It just lays around and does nothing. When Caesar sees Bearcat out there doing nothing, he goes nuts. We have 19 different theories about what it is, but I like to show. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Make sure you're watching your screen because I don't know if this will play a second time when I click on this thing. Watch this. Well, that's not the right one. Well, that's Caesar eating out of my hand, so you can see who the boss of this house is. So there's Caesar. That is, in fact, I'm not. It looks like I'm sitting on the toilet, but I'm not. It's on a bathroom stool. Well, if I don't sit on that bathroom stool, I can't get out of the bathroom. So we have that. There's that going on there. Let's see where the other picture is. I'll be a son of a bitch. Oh, all right. So now look. Okay, so that's the back window where when Caesar sees Bearcat, it goes nuts. Caesar can actually do a pull-up, and he's big and strong and klutzy, and he only worries about his upper half of his body. You can see there on the picture on what would be my left. I don't know if it's your left or right or whatever. He's crawling up. Once he has a grip on there, his ass flies all around. His ass would be considered a bull in a china shop. Now the picture in the middle, it seems like he just threw himself on the glass like Spider-Man and is sticking to the thing. And then this other one over here, he has just one leg up and one leg down. And this goes on. That's impressive. And so our cat people, Lee and Lanny, they helped us save Caesar and they saved cats. I saved them one at a time. They got a house of 5 cats. I will send a complaint to them and say, when Bearcat shows up, Caesar goes nuts and he starts doing pull-ups and flying all around and screaming and going nuts and ape shit, and then he cries around the house and he does laps around the place. And they said, oh yeah, Gus does that. Gus is the cat that I traumatized, that got scared into hiding in the back of their sofa. So I complained to our cat people about this insane behavior, and yet they say, yeah, that's what cats do. How it's possible that I don't know what cats do at this point in my life is anybody's guess. So there's that. And I'm babbling away here like nobody's business because there's something else. Round of applause for Mrs. Comic, because I will tell you this. I would not be able to live with me because I am fucking nuts in the head. I'm going to do this. Let me hold this here for you. Hang on. Let's see. I'll give you this back. Caesar, you can have a peek at Caesar's pull-up while I go get this. He's over here. I have to get something for show and tell. Hi there. Caesar is guarding the thing that I need. I need this. Thank you. All right. Now, what's important to this story is this. Our daughter has got a passion for thrifting, and she's really good at it. I showed you a nice candle that she found for me last week. Her and her partner are hooked on VHS tapes, which you can get for like $0.25 a piece in the used stores, and we know how to check for mold. So I got this fine collection at a thrift store. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies, less than $2. We got Footloose. We got Backdraft. We've got Apollo 13. We have Daylight. And we have Meet the Parents. This is bulky. They're heavy. I bought them. We brought them home. These are all movies that I thought we had watched before, which we have. And I somehow thought that we had watched them recently since that we bought these just last week. But I had no idea where they were, and it turns out they were in the laundry. Mrs. Comic brought these up from the basement, and she handed them to me. I thought she was an escape mental institution patient because she come out from the basement and said these were in the laundry. And that's not even that weird part of the story. The weird part of the story is that I thought I had seen these in this house and that we had already watched them, and then I put them some other place. So it's not really easy to live with me because of this kind of thing going on. And now Caesar is over in this room here. He wants to play. So that could be, if I have to run off camera, it's because we're having playtime. So that's what's going on there. So there's more fun shit going on. Caesar's been, he's just been a joy for us because he's a handful and he chases all around the house and he gets bear cat alerts and he gets worked up. I was pretty sure he could see the ghost cat, which turned out to be a toy that was right here. So let's see, I'm going to shift gears a little bit on cats. Let's see here. Oh, this is something. Everybody, when you're out in the world, try to find me one of these. It is a high 8 tape player. Don't pay a lot of money for it. If you find it at a yard sale or a thrift store or wherever, pick it up, $5-10. I will figure out how to get it to me. There's some on eBay, but they're really fucking expensive, and it's a freak item. I don't know why they think anybody would pay $300 for that, but I would like one. So there you go. And I do have a birthday coming up, so I mean that's a freak thing to get me. So now we're moving along here. We had, because of this picture, let's go back to this. Okay, mostly everybody in the world loves fresh air coming in. I love air conditioning. Mrs. Comic likes fresh air. I do a little bit, but so I like to open the windows and put screens in for as long as I can stand it until it gets too hot. Because Caesar is big and strong and nuts. The back window that he's at there, we have 2 screens in it because I don't trust him with 1 screen. And we might have to go to a 3rd screen. Now, you might think you could just go into any hardware store and buy a window screen. But trying to buy a window screen in this day and age is like trying to get a Turbo Man doll right before Christmas time. Mrs. Comic said, we know they have them at Lowe's, but there's no Lowe's around here where we are. So Mrs. Comic said on Sunday, she said, why don't we go to Weaver's Hardware just outside of Kutztown there in Fleetwood? If you haven't been to Weaver's Hardware store and you can get there, you have to go. It's just like an Ace Hardware store, but it's really, it's a crossover. It's very Dutchy. It's more laid back. It's not the same people you will see run around Lowe's and Home Depot. And when we were walking in to Weaver's, a young couple was coming out, and the fella said, I'm going to be going fishing. And she said, fishing? He said, yes, trout fishing. And she said, trout fishing? And he said, yes, trout fishing, but I might just go to a fish store and buy a trout. I love that kind of thing. You don't hear that kind of shit when you go into Lowe's. Everybody's talking about their new garden hose and shit they bought. So go check out Weaver's. It's old style hardware store. I believe some Amish couples that are getting married register with wedding registry at Weaver's Hardware store, and there's not many things to pick for, like his and her shovels and stuff like that. So if you get a Weaver's Hardware store wedding registry opportunity with Amish, go fast because the good gifts get sucked up right away. So we had that fun out there. We got the window screens in. Now leave us go. As I'm a babbling brook here tonight. I'm all over the place. When we went to see the eclipse, on Mrs. Comic's birthday, April 8th, out of Erie, Lake Erie. I told you there were some fun stories out there that I forgot, and I don't even know if this would qualify as fun. So I am right now 4 years vegetarian, and I don't like vegetables. So there's basically no food for me out in the world besides beer and donuts and pizza. And I had a lot of food crises out there, and that's my own fault. I know I hate food. I should bring my own fucking food. That's my problem. It's not their problem. Well, it turned out it was their problem because I went fucking nuts. But so there was an Italian restaurant, and everybody was ordering all these, weird pasta dishes, and my granddaughter wanted to get pepperoni balls, and I was willing to break my vegetarian streak to help my granddaughter get pepperoni balls, pepperoni rolls. And so we got them, but it turns out I didn't eat it anyway, and she didn't either. It's like if you took a roll, like a mini hamburger bun or just a roll, and baked it, and inside was one slice of pepperoni, no sauce, no fucking cheese, no nothing. There's something fucking weird with pizza and Italian food in Erie. So I was smart enough that night to go off the railroad tracks and order a large pizza, which there's a lot of fucking people. There was a whole family. There's a house of 10, 12, 13 people, 11 people, I don't know. Nobody ate the pizza because they all had weird dishes to pick. It was good enough for me, who couldn't find any food out there. So any kind of pizza was going to do the trick. And then it turns out that Vince, our daughter's partner, he was Googling around trying to find if there was halfway decent pizza out there. Hang on, I'm choking. It turns out there's such a thing as called Erie style pizza, which none of us knew. None of us knew, and I believe the reason they call it Erie style pizza is that nobody out there knows how to make a fucking pizza, which even I can make. You have dough, and you put some fucking sauce on there, and you throw some cheese on there, and the thing, you do the mix however you want. Somehow, the Erie style pizza seems to be the dough is normal, and then a actual swimming pool of pizza sauce goes on, and the cheese goes on top of that, but somehow the cheese is an island onto its own self, and the cheese and the sauce never combine. It's like oil and water. There's a whole thing going on there, which we didn't know. Because they were asking me how the pizza was. I said, well, it was all right. So Vince went and he found a review for this pizza. Where the hell is it? Let's see here. There it is. Okay, right there's that. Okay, so the review was by someone called Pizza Ass. And Pizza Ass's review, turns out that's the only thing he reviewed. I'm going to read for you a Pizza Ass review right now. This is kind of amazing. Hang on here. Let's see. Scrolling through my messages. Let's see. There's that one. All right. So now, this is going to be embarrassing because I got to put on my old man reading glasses to read this thing. I didn't print it out. I'll see where the hell I put them. Alright, here we go. You'd probably rather see me with my old man reading glasses reading this than stare at that pepperoni pizza. So I'm going to scroll this thing back here and do this. Alright, so now Valerio's Italian Pizza, and that's the actual pizza that I had. Erie style pizza is the thing. They think it's a thing. I think it's a clever name for fuck it. We don't know how to make actual proper pizza, so we'll just call it Erie style pizza, aka we're not quite sure how to make the fucking cheese and the sauce get along. But this is Pizza Ass's review, and I'm here to tell you that I agree with this review 100%. And it was my first and probably only Erie style pizza. So Pizza Ass had this to say about the pizza that I had out there. It's an Erie style, and I thought that meant like fucking scary movie, but no, it's Erie to town Erie. Erie style pizza, which starts with a pre-baked shell for a crust and a shitload of sloppy sauce and a bunch of cheese. As far as Erie style pizzas go, this is how we learn there's an actual thing called Erie style pizza. This is the best one, but it's still not wonderful. What how can it be the best one and still not be wonderful? I'll tell you how. Because Erie style pizza sucks batshit balls. That's why it's the best one, but it's still not that wonderful. That is absolutely fucking spot on. The sauce is kind of sweet, but there's a lot of it, and typically drips off while you're trying to eat it. That's correct, because it's a fucking bowl of soup sauce swimming pool under the fucking. It's like if you took the cover off the swimming pool, and the cover was the cheese, and the pool water was the sauce. That is exactly what it fucking is. This is spot on. It drips when you're trying to eat it. Most normal people would find it to be too much sauce. But Raymond the Amish comic, who's not normal, he fucking loved it. I added that, but because he said most normal people. But he said, I can handle it. As low as I'm rating this, I still like it. And I've eaten probably 100 Valerio's pizzas in my life. It's just not something I would recommend to someone who doesn't live here. That is a most accurate review of this weird fucking pizza. So if you go to Erie, Mrs. Comic just brought me something here that really fucked me up. All right, I'm going to decode this. Richter told you to bring me bourbon balls. And so Mrs. Comic broke my left hand with this wooden tray, serving tray. So I'm going to have to wrap this up and go to the hospital because she smashed it into my left hand with this tray that Richter said would be funny if we brought this bourbon over. And then there's balls here. There's bourbon, and these are cotton balls. Apparently, I should dip in, destroy my expensive bourbon. So I would like to thank Mrs. Comic, and those are for Caesar. All right, so that flatlined. I think I embarrassed Mrs. Comic. She's running off. I don't think we'll see her anymore tonight. We're going to blame Richter on this one. I didn't know. Maybe that went better at rehearsal. But okay, there's Caesar coming in, trying to save the day. Here, want to smell the bourbon? That's a bad thing to do. I've lost control of the show, and let's see, now I don't have a place to set this bourbon down because I actually have one over here. And let's see here. Oh, there's Caesar coming. See, that's all well and good, but the way to get Caesar up here is not with bourbon balls. It is with cat treats. This is what does it right there. Fuck them bourbon balls, right? We're going to have some cat treats and save the day. Now try to eat them on the camera because it's not like, remember Mary showed her ass to the fans the first time. So what have we learned as having cats on the show for guests? We show the ass to where the candle is over there, me. All right. What you don't understand is Caesar is not really used to seeing me with my hat on, and so this causes problems. I think he thinks my hat is a squirrel, and there's that. Now he's not gonna stay. So that's fantastic. Well done, Mrs. Comic. She's over there making a pouty face. I love you. It was wonderful. You didn't actually break my hand, but it was funnier, and it did crash into me a little bit. And now we have this situation here where my bra strap is falling down. Caesar's over there. The bourbon balls. So see, what happened is Mrs. Comic combined the joke of the bourbon balls with actual balls. Caesar loves these little white cotton balls. You can spend all the money you want for toys, but these cotton balls are the most amazing thing. I'm just throwing them on the ground right now. I better drink some of this bourbon. Oh, no. This definitely went better at rehearsal. All right, so we're doing that. Now, what the hell was I talking about here? Okay, so pizza. Well, right, we finished the pizza. Pizza's done. And when you said pizza, Caesar came running in, so there was that going on. Um, yeah, pizza review out there. So, well, the point is, if you go to a town and they don't know how to make pizza, your first clue would be if they said their pizza was the style of like their town pizza, like Erie pizza, which they fucking made up. Because there's no, you don't go to, like around here, everybody's New York style pizza, which is also kind of made up. It's a pizza and they say New York style. But I've never heard anybody say, I surely would like an Erie style pizza. So if it's the name of the town, style pizza, Chattanooga pizza probably sucks batshit balls. I would stay away from it. So now we got that going on right here. We are out of control. I've lost control of the show, but I've actually never really had control of the show. Oh, also, my bra stopped showing up. Shout out to Clee's sister. My wife is reading like a wild lunatic again, which makes me so happy. If she reads a book and loves it, and there's no follow up, it can just destroy the reading for a while. So whatever you told her to read, she loved it, and she's on the second one. And then I get to listen to a serial killer book right now, which is actually mildly a point of this story that I'm gonna burp. Excuse me. And when I burp, Caesar goes, "What the fuck was that about?" Um, Sometimes I hear things in stories that remind me of other things, and one of the things that this remind me of in this story that I'm listening to right now is set in an old style record store that went through different generations of people, and it got modernized, and it almost went out of business because of all the streaming and stuff, and then it made a comeback, and they had to make a road trip somewhere to solve this horrible, crazy shit going on in the story. And the only car they had access to was a real old car with a cassette deck that was mounted underneath, which kind of fucked up the value of this car. The guy won it in the story on the radio station, and the the radio station they were driving around wherever the hell they went, they couldn't find a good station, which reminded me of a fantastic used kids don't remember riding around in your cars when all there was radio. There were no cassette decks, there were no 8-track players, and if you're riding around here in the Lehigh Valley and you've got WZZO on, Bearman and Keith, you're happier than pigs in shit until you start to drive away from your radio station for reasons only Bearman could explain. You can drive north Lehigh Valley and hear ZZO until the cows come home up somewhere up in the Poconos. If you go the other way, once you hit Quakertown, the radio stations start to drop. So you'll be jamming away and listening to your radio as you're driving farther away from the Lehigh Valley, and all of a sudden it'll start to it starts to and it's fucking gone, and that's it. And another thing that can happen is it happened to me years ago when I went out to I drove all the way out to Indiana. I'm still in therapy for that. It's a terrible idea. Never do that. I was listening to tapes or CDs, whatever the fuck it was, and then I wanted to pop the radio on, and WZZO 95.1 in Indiana was like a preacher station. So it doesn't, just because it's classic rock here in the Lehigh Valley doesn't mean it's that in Indiana. And there's that panic of how do you find a good radio station in when you're far away, and every so often when it happens, it's kind of fun. We went on a roller coaster trip the one year, and we could not find anything that was not a church service. It was just all. I mean, all the presets they were all church services. So embrace and enjoy your technology, and just be glad you didn't have to worry about. I mean, I'm pretty sure we used to ride around, and if we smoked dope when we were driving, that I'm not saying that we did, but possibly when we hit the zone where we would lose the radio station, we might know it would be a good time to turn around then. That probably was a helpful thing to help get us home. Now that I think of it, technology taking care of its hippies. That's pretty great right there. Um, so, and the other thing that happens is nobody can tell me anything about anything without me going, well, that reminds me of 19 stories that I want to tell that have nothing to do with yours. Uh, our daughter, Dr. Josie, a school teacher, had some brainiac kids, and man, things have really changed since you went to school. Didn't go through this, but I believe like the brainiac kids would be considered nerds, science fair kids, um, and when they would go off places, possibly kids in the hallway would trip them and pin kick me stickers on them. These brainiac kids got a fucking masterful send off. It brought a tear to my eye. She filmed this thing. The whole fucking school's cheering, and you got fucking wacky noodles and bam, 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 bam. That's fucking rock star. That the brainiacs got the Super Bowl exit from the school. So there's hope for humanity when I see stuff like that. Um, and and the the bummer is where they had to go was Altoona, Pennsylvania. Nobody should really go to Altoona, Pennsylvania for any reasons whatsoever. And I'm actually doing a show out there, so I had checked her. Where are you staying? It would be funny if you went into and took the kids into the hotel, and there'd be big posters for cursing me up that you could show to the brainiac kids. But she said no, they were staying outside of Altoona. I said it's probably because there's not really very many nice hotels in Altoona, but that is also not the point of the Altoona story. So the Altoona happens to be home to the oldest wooden roller coaster in the world. It's hanging on by a thread. Leap the Dips. It has maximum drop of 9 feet, 15 feet, maximum speed of like 9 miles an hour. And when we were riding roller coasters like lunatics, we were keeping track. I was keeping track, OCD me. So it was going to be our 200th ride of that summer, and we thought, wouldn't it be fun to go out to Altoona and ride the most boring, oldest wooden roller coaster in the world for our 200th ride? And it's a long ride, and it's 80 west, and you drive and you drive and you drive, and you stop seeing those big green signs with the names of towns on them, and then you start to think that you're dead, and you want to see the name of any town on a big green sign just to know that you're not dead. And then there's a sign that says Jersey Shore, and they say, fuck me in a bucket of goo, I went the wrong way. So that's not the point of the story either. So we got out there, and the Leap the Dips was closed. The ride was fucking closed. So no worries, they had another wooden roller coaster there that was baseball themed only because its proximity to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where the Little League World Series is. The coaster had nothing to do with baseball except they put a big fucking baseball on the sign. It was a nice coaster. It's not scary. It's not wild. It's just kind of a fun wooden coaster. And where it became more exciting was Mrs. Comic sat this one out. Lizzie and I, our daughter, were test riding this thing. Apparently, the the ride operator, it was his first time operating the ride, and he must not have been paying attention for how to stop the roller coaster, because when you come in to the station, I guess they call it, it comes in fast, and all of a sudden it slows down in increments, and then it's kind of sad because the thing's over. It became apparent to me that we were not slowing down. We came flying into the station, and we came fucking flying out of the station. Nobody taught him how to stop it, which, if you like roller coasters, that's a fucking dream come true. You say, what do you want to do? Let's go around again. So we got to fly around again on that thing. So that was magical, which brings me to another story that I didn't want to tell you because I have to get back to Altoona. But also, there was a year when the amusement parks did the coolest thing that out of control now. We rode roller coasters, and within like here and say maybe 2 3 hours south, north, west, we were going. Dorney Park was bought by Cedar Point, I think it is, in Sandusky, Ohio. It's a long fucking drive. It's a long fucking drive. It's a long fucking drive. When you get to Ohio, there's a welcome sign that says, "Welcome to Ohio. Hell is real." I'm not making that up. That's the welcome right there. So we went there, and they had a big, beautiful wooden roller coaster, and we were going to be there a whole weekend. So we pulled in late the first night, and we ran back to that coaster because the park was going to be closing any minute. And we hopped on this thing, and it was going to be the last ride of the night. And we went on this thing, and it's a beautiful wooden coaster, and it's fast, and it comes down by the water, and the park's lit up at night. And we came back in, and everybody was sad because it was the last ride of the night. And I was somehow I was close to the front. I said, "Man, this isn't fair. You know, I just traveled 3 days by horse and buggy from the Lehigh Valley to get here." And they said, "Really?" I said, "No, I took a car, but it was still like a 9 hour ride to get here. I'm sure it would be awesome if we could go around again." And all the riders cheered, and the park ride operator said, "Fuck you in a bucket of goo in the best possible way." And he fucking sent us around again. So if you love roller coasters when that happens, it's fucking rock star. If you hate roller coasters and you're on one and everybody cheers and you don't want to go, you can't fucking get off. And you have like 1 fucking second to go. We had another one of those when our daughter was very small and just started to ride coasters down at Dutch Wonderland. The Lady Princess or whatever it is. It's really a nice, fun wooden roller coaster. That was her first wooden roller coaster she ever went on, and it was like the last Sunday of the summer, and they just let us stay on it. Like they knew school started tomorrow, and they just let us ride the fuck out of this thing for like 20 ride. I don't know what it is. So all those stories were connected, but I have to get back to Altoona because we saw a theme of my show is women are smarter than men, and ladies, we're way fucking dumber than you even think we are, but it's also not our fault. This is kind of proof of that. So in Altoona, I know junior high school boys are naughty. It's junior high school. They're trying to figure stuff out. They're noticing shapes of girls, and they don't understand things yet, and the women are already, look out, they're starting to figure shit out, and they're getting a little creepy. So it was Altoona junior high school boys, and I watched it happen once, and I couldn't speak because it fucked me up too much. And then it happened again, and then I had to say stuff, and then Mrs. Comic and our daughter noticed it. Apparently there was a game by junior high school boys by where you ran up to one of them and you kneed them in the balls. You took their knee and pow, right in the balls, and then you laughed. It was kind of like not us, just them. It was just their friends. This is how guys, this is what I say, when guys are bad friends with each other, you don't even know they're friends to each other. This was a commercial for that. This was an actual game, like a dangerous, kick you in the balls version of tag. You're it. And they pow, and then they'd laugh, and then they'd run. And then we were thinking, well, I was actually thinking, because I was the only one of us that had balls, we rode the coaster, now let's get the fuck out of Altoona. So if you go out to Altoona, be ready for weird shit like that. Well, also in Altoona, I might have told this story before. Strap is right up there. However many years ago, I don't know. It was actually a nice venue. So it was a bar, but it was actually like a barn. I think it was like a country line dancing bar. It was like a mini Penn's Peak. It was really nice. It was just a really cool entertainment space, and I was upstairs, and there were no seating up there. And the other comedian was, he was really sucking batshit balls, man. He bit it. Uh, Cringe comedy is an acquired taste, and they weren't feeling it at all, and they were really fucking drunk, and he was close to the end of his show, and he said something that really pissed somebody off big time, and the dude took a whole bottle of beer and threw it at the comedian, and it actually hit the comedian in his head. It didn't knock him over, and right after it hit him in the head, he he just somehow introduced me, Raymond the Amish comic. So I didn't even get entrance applause because this guy had just thrown a bottle of beer and it hit the comedian in the head. That's actually not the weird part. He sat back down and seemed really surprised when security and cops came to haul his ass out of. Throwing a bottle of beer at someone that's pissing you off is kind of an assholish rock star move, but it's an exit move. You don't do that and then sit down. You do it knowing that you gotta fucking go. So that's what was the amazing thing to me. He threw the bottle of beer, pissed off whatever the heck comedian said, and that's how I opened my show. I said the weird part for me was that he thought he could stay. Because if that's the rule, that we could just throw full beers at people that piss us off, I'm going to get me an actual beer helmet. And I won't have the straws for drink. They'll be ready in case somebody puts mustard on my fucking cheeseburger. What the fuck's wrong with you? And I'll throw a fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon at them. That would be a kind of a bizarre society. Again, that's Altoona. So, what happens in Altoona, I would say stays in Altoona, but it also probably doesn't happen any other place in the fucking world. So we're flying away around here. Let's see. I don't know what the hell else I was talking about. I had a couple more things I want to say. We got Erie Pizza. We talked about that. My strap fell down. Caesar ran out of here. Let's see. Oh, I know what's going on here. The other thing is Jerry Seinfeld pissed me off. Never mind. Jerry Seinfeld just did an interview and he said that they don't make funny sitcoms anymore because of Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. But I don't think they make funny sitcoms fucking ever. But there are some funny shows out there. Ted Lasso is fantastic. And What We Do in the Shadows, fantastic comedy. Family Tree, fantastic comedy. Schitt's Creek, fantastic comedy. So Jerry Seinfeld can go fuck himself because there's a lot of really good comedies out there. And I'm liking when a show that's not comedy puts comedy in their show. The series Succession has some brilliant comedy in it. Ted Lasso, amazing comedy. And in fact, I made a note here. If you don't even watch Ted Lasso, you should go to season 2, episode 9, and watch Beard After Hours. He goes to a nightclub and he busts a move, and beard dancing is just one of the most amazing things you'll ever see. Caesar's back and wants a snack. Here we go. There's that. But then I become obsessed with that scene, and I will watch it a gazillion times. And I found a song, and I put it in the playlist, and I surprised Mrs. Comic when we were going to Weaver's Hardware by playing Beard's Hello song. Wait, that's my Caesar. That's a phone call right there. Take that, shut that off. So that's my exciting show for the week. I got Caesar right here. He will, as soon as I stop feeding him snacks, he's gonna fall into my bourbon. That's bourbon. You shouldn't really have the bourbon. And I believe that's all my excitement. I'm sure I missed some things. Oh, I wanted to bust Richter's balls. Richter is probably, I've seen this, heartfelt, possibly one of the greatest fans slash friends I've ever had. He watches all my stuff. He's a great supporter of my show, and so he tried to dick with me because I last week I broadcasted this show was on Wednesday, and he tried to make a joke and say I'll tune in at 9. I knew damn well Richter knows this goes on at fucking 7:30. He knows that I know that I'm not fucking tuning in at 9. That he knows that I won't be on at 9. And then he kept that joke going. And then the next one I did say, well, okay, I'll be listening at 11. And I told him, just keep it up, because you know how I am. One of these weeks, I will do my live stream show at a stupid fucking time that you said it'll be your fault. Everybody will be here at 7:30 wondering where the fuck is Raymond, and I'll come on at 11 o'clock and nobody will fucking know. It'll be Richter's fault because he said I will be tuning in at 11. We love yous. That's it for this week. Don't be a dick to each other. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. And if you ever have a chance to go to Altoona, don't.